Yes, hello, I'm Bruce Pollock, and I'm a painter. One of the hardest things with a painting is where to begin. You need something to get the mind active. I generally start out with drawing, with line. When I find a drawing that feels suited to a painting, there's just a certain excitement I get about it, and then I move it to a larger scale. That's how the paintings begin. I call them trees because they branch like trees, and the title of this series is Seeing the Forest in the Tree. I know there's mathematics in my work, but I never studied math. I got through high school math, geometry, but the geometry that I use really comes directly from nature, mostly fractal geometry. That's something that really even wasn't discovered until about 30 years ago. By Mandelbrot, so it's a whole new branch of math. I see them in one way as being trees, but it's just like any kind of branching form. It could be a street map. Maps branch too. The branching structure is a fractal form that's universal. It happens everywhere. I mimic the processes of nature in my work, in the way that nature builds form, in the hopes that it reaches that point of perfection and beauty that I experience outdoors in nature. The kind of perfection that you see in seashells, in a sunset. To me, that's a spiritual kind of experience. And if I can get close to that, then that's, I think, where the spirit comes from. My paintings don't all look the same. I went through art school in the find your style time. That's what you were supposed to do, is find your style and then market it, hammer it out, become successful with it. But I never fit well into that mold. I really haven't been interested in stylistic consistency. Although I know that makes artists more marketable, it never was my main concern. I'm searching for something with painting, and I trust the search. And if it means leaving some things behind, even bodies of work that were commercially successful, I will do that. I started out in Philadelphia using enamel paint. I eventually had to let that go because it was too toxic working with it. And I started working in oil, and then I went to acrylic because I wanted to be able to work faster. The thing I like about acrylic is it has a fast drying time. So whereas in enamel and oil I would have to wait for days or weeks between layers, with acrylic you could throw a layer down and it would be dry in an hour and put another down. So at that time I was doing paintings that were more expressionistic. I needed that speed that was provided by the medium. I don't really feel like I need it now because that work laid the foundation for the ideas that I'm painting now. The nice thing is now I feel like I really can take my time with those ideas. The oil and the long drying time allows me to pay more attention to the surface. I've never been interested in the Greenberg doctrine of flatness in painting. To me, the interplay of depth and surface are what's really interesting in painting for me, like a window into an infinite space. And I really enjoy the illusionism of painting. John Ruskin said that the task of the painter was to represent the infinite that cannot be represented. I feel like that's kind of the task that I set myself to. I had a show at the Zen Art Museum in Shenzhen, China, and a Chinese artist gave me the scroll. It refers to the color of ink, the color indigo, like the night sky. It has more depth to it than black. When you use the most saturated pigment of indigo, it looks like black. But if you add the least bit of white to it, the blue comes out. To me, it's the deepest color that I have found. The darkness of ink is from the blue, like the night sky. Ice is from water, but is colder than both. The last line is a one-hand clapping kind of Zen koan enigmatic thing. I'm not really sure what it's trying to say, but it's given me a lot to think about.